What's happening, everybody? I hope everyone is having a great night, and as usual, staying safe and obviously taking care of others. That's really important. So I just wanted to jump on tonight. It's a beautiful night. Little chilly for my taste, but I'm always cold. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things, and one is the difference in people. We look at and we talk about all the time. I was on a lot of calls today. Hey, Alyssa, Babam. I was on a lot of calls today. I was actually on a group call in my mastermind with about 10 different coaches. And hey, Nicholas was one of those people. Awesome guy. Hey, Chris. And it's interesting because, the amount of conversations that I had, people ask funny questions. They're, Mario, how do I change my mindset? And I say, well, what do you mean by that? If I give you the answer, are you going to do it? The other great question is, how do I become rich and successful? Well, do you really want me to tell you? And then when I say that to them, especially on the Zoom call, I can see their face. They look kind of shocked because they don't want to hear me say to them, put in the work, stay disciplined, so forth and so on. And then I ask people like, why? Is that going to make you happy? And, that's where the difference comes in because, look, I know a lot of wealthy people that are completely unhappy. And why? Because they are not fulfilled inside. They're fulfilled on the outside. People see them as successful. They see them as wealthy, whatever you may be. And it's then, there are people who don't have a lot who are the happiest people on earth because they're fulfilled inside. They have something inside of them. Their passion and their purpose is what carries them through. And someone brought up skill. Like, I don't have the skill. I don't have the techniques. You don't need the skill. What you need to really succeed in this world is, truly and honestly, you just have to act like a leader and you have to be disciplined. If you look at some of the greatest athletes in the world, or even look at the coaches. Coaches are leaders. Some coaches are actual leaders, like real leaders. And, when I talk about a leader, I'm not talking about a boss or a manager. I'm talking about a true leader. And I remember reading a story about John Wooden. And John Wooden was a great coach. Obviously Vince Lombardi was a great coach. They all had great mindsets. But John Wooden saw great talent in people. And there was this one young 18-year-old kid, and John Wooden said, you must shoot 400 free throws and do 400 layups. And he goes, I do those all the time. I could do it. He goes, yeah, keep doing it. And it was because of repetition, the discipline of repetition. I talked about repetition in a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago, but I think this is really cool because when a leader forces somebody else into repetition, they're doing it because they want them to do it in the clutch. They want them to do it when they're under pressure. Because when you're under pressure, I hate to use this analogy because everyone's heard it, but a diamond is nothing more than a rock until it's pressured, and all of a sudden it becomes a gem. And that's what these people become. They want to become a gem. They want to become the best versions of themselves. And they do it because they have a deep desire and they understand that, to them, there truly is no way, there truly is no other way than to be that best version of themselves. And if anybody ever thinks about what their true goals are, and they talk about goals, like, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to do this, I am going to do that, but they never put a why behind it. And anyone I've ever coached, and Nicholas, you're on, sorry guys, my pop socket fell off, so I'm trying to hold this phone as steady as I can. And I always say to people, you know what? You can't have just a why you're going to do this, why you're going to do that. You have to have something behind it. You have to have something really strong behind it. Like, turn it into a must. I must do this. Because here's the thing. Everyone always talks about, or ask, you can ask anybody, even ask yourself, why do people say they want to become successful? Why do people say they want to make a lot of money? Why do they set their goals that way? They set their goals for pleasure, for things. Now, I wanted to, sorry, you know what, I'm just going to hold it with this hand. So I just want to share something really, really deep with you because I think this is really cool. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I mean this in a very positive way because I think that this will be the differentiator. Instead of setting a goal because of pleasure and because of the things you think that are going to make you happy, how about setting a goal and ask yourself, if I don't achieve this goal, what kind of pain is it going to bring me? So let me give you an example. Let's say your goal is to lose, let's make it simple. Let's say your goal is to lose 30 pounds. And you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to lose 30 pounds. Everyone knows how that goes. Everyone knows how that goes. You know, people make New Year's resolutions and by friggin', January 2nd, they've even forgot what their resolution was. But think about the pain of not losing the 30 pounds. What if you sat there? What if you, look, 70% of this country is obese. And a lot of countries are catching up to us because guess what? They're starting to get into the American lifestyle and the American way, or the Western way if you want. But what if you said to yourself, I have to lose 30 pounds or else my blood pressure is going to go up. I'm going to be on blood pressure medication. I could get diabetes. I could suffer cardiac arrest. That pain is going to bring a lot of pain to me, but also to my family and the people who love me and the people around me. Or what if you asked yourself, during this pandemic, I have a goal to start a side business so I have more income. I have income. Now, instead of saying because I can go and buy extra things and I can go and waste my money on this and on that, what if you said, well, what would the pain be of me not starting this side business to make sure that I have additional income, especially in these times? Well, that pain could be I lose my job and I have to go out and look for another job and taking care of my family, taking care of everything else. So pain, I talk about pain being a good thing all the time. Pain is powerful. If you can accept and if you can truly embrace the pain, the suffering that life gives you, and you truly embrace it and you use that to your advantage, look, here's the thing, it's gonna happen anyway. You're gonna experience pain every day. Life is not easy. Life is tough. And when I speak to young people, when I speak to, kids getting out of high school and kids getting out of college, I say to them all the time, be prepared. Be prepared. But if you are prepared, you are going to use it to your advantage. You are going to carry that the right way. Steve Jobs gave the greatest speech, I think, ever at Stanford University. He was 50 years old. I can't remember what year it was because I think he died at 56. But he said when he was younger, he heard something that stuck with him forever. Live every day like it were your last. And it stuck with him so much that every day he went in front of that mirror to start his day, he asked himself one question. Is what I'm going to do today going to make me happy? Is what I am going to do today going to make me feel fulfilled? And he knew that if the answer was no to that question, there had to be a change. But why are people so afraid to make a change? Why are people so afraid to take a risk? Why are people so afraid? Why is there so much fear? I mean, if you put it on the line, if you truly burn the boats, you're on an island, you burn the boats, and that's it, you're there. Would you survive? Of course you would, because you would have to, because a different mechanism would set in. Hey, Danielle, Babam, a different mechanism sets in. You don't always go into flight or fight. Accept it and use that as a tool to be disciplined, to carry you to where you really want to go. And I think that people are always looking at the ones who have it and think it came easy. Do you think it came easy when Jeff Bezos was sitting in a little office in 1999, walked away from Wall Street and wanted to start Amazon.com? It wasn't easy. He put his heart and soul into it. He put 18 hours a year. It's really funny. There was I was on a Zoom call, and one person asked the other person the question, and he said, "Well, yeah, I worked. I want to be really successful, and I work from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. And the other guy responded, "Oh yeah, well then, what are you doing from 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock? Are you working on your dreams? Are you working on your goals?" People don't want to put that time in because it's discipline. It's discipline. They'd rather look. Here's the thing: Netflix is flying. Do you want to know why Netflix is the stock that is carrying NASDAQ right now? Because everybody in this quarantine is sitting home on their couches. I'm not saying everybody like you, but the majority of this country right now, no matter what's going on, they're sitting there worrying and complaining about what's going on in the world, but they can sit up and lay on their couch for 8 hours and stream Netflix? I mean, come on, people. Is that a priority? Is that discipline? That is not discipline. People have to be hungry. People have to understand that, gosh, they've got to put their balls on the line to make it happen. They do. They do. Especially in this time, this age we're in right now. Let me tell you something. Let me let you in on a little secret. What you're not doing, someone out there is doing it right now. Somewhere, someone out there is going to take that goal away from you if you do not assert yourself and do it. Look, it's simple. Like Malcolm X said, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. If you're not preparing for it now, I've been locked down here now for 6 weeks by myself, and I've been nothing but working on me. Nothing but working on myself so I can work on other people and improve them. Jumping on calls, staying disciplined, working out every day, even though I don't have my gym. But I do have push-up bars, I do have bands, and I make sure that I work out 5 days a week. In my journal right in there. Today was day 11. Today is April 16th, so that's 11 out of 16 days. I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm saying that because I know the pain I'll feel if I don't do it. Put pain behind it. When you're thinking about your goals, think how painful it will be if you don't do it, if you don't achieve it. What is your life going to be like? What are the people around you going to be like? And here's the other thing. This is something that I gotta press home with you. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50 years old. I don't care. This isn't just for 20-year-olds. Who you are hanging out with, who are you are spending your time with, if they are sitting around and complaining and you're complaining with them, you're just gonna have more to complain about. If they just want to sit around and drink beer and play video games, guess what? That's not going to help your future. Those people should not be around you right now. They should not be in your life. And I'm not trying to be so harsh. I'm not trying to be harsh. It's just I find this so exciting. We have the most exciting time for all of us ahead of us, and yet everybody is only looking at the negative. Look at the positive. Look at the opportunity you have. Look at this reset. Take advantage of it. I'm telling you, it is so vitally important. Getting back to John Wooden as a leader, he had this kid shoot 400 free throws and 400 layups. And guess what? John Wooden did something that no other coach, I believe, will ever do in history. He won 11 championships in a row because of repetition and discipline. Think about that. Michael Jordan talked about how when he was cut sophomore year, he said to his coach, Coach, I got the most talent out of anybody. How do you cut me? He said, because you have no heart. You have no heart. You don't care about this team. You only care about yourself. You're selfish. He said, if you want to be on the team next year, I'll make you a deal right now. This year, you will not play, but you will show up every day and you will work out first thing in the morning before school. If you do that every day, you will be on that team. You will be on that team. What did Michael Jordan do? He showed up every day. Discipline and repetition. Discipline and repetition. You've got to think differently, people. You cannot move with the herd. You've got to take stock in where you want to be in your life and where you want to go and where you want to take people with you, and think about what you want to give back to this world. So on that note, that was a huge rant. I apologize for that. Actually, I'm not apologizing. I never apologize. I'm not apologizing. All I'm saying is that it was really cool. And hearing the stuff, reading about the stuff, listening to podcasts, being on these mastermind calls, talk about being around people. I think I've mentioned this before. When my life changed is when I started going to entrepreneurial masterminds. And I'm hanging around with these people that are, they're not complaining, they're trying to find ways to change themselves, become a better version of themselves, to change the world, to get back to the world, to innovate, be imaginative, be creative. Every single night, that son of a bitch drives by with that muffler. Oh my God. Anyway, so think about what the power of repetition really does. So I'm around these people that are constantly, all they're talking about is, how are we going to make it better? How are we going to crush it? How are we going to make this world a better place? How are we going to become a powerhouse? And all of a sudden they're sharing information with one another. They're not greedy, they're givers. They're givers. They want to, like my mentor says, make more, give more. I think you should add one thing in the beginning: help more, make more, give more. But that's the crux of it. Anyone have any questions? Hey, Judy, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. Paul, how are you? Risa, David, we have a phone call, I think, coming up. Peter, Rich, Nathan. Already said hi to Danny, Peter, Chris, Laura. How are you, Laura? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I totally appreciate it. Vicky, Gia, Nicholas Dodge. We had a cool call today. Yeah, so a lot of cool people on. Any questions? Somebody want to throw something into what I just said? Does it resonate? Does it make sense to you? Does it? Look, I said it before, guys. I'm setting up my podcast right now. I know the people I'm going to be interviewing. I know the people I'm going to be interviewed by. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm excited about it. It's going to give me a bigger platform for when I start speaking. Hey, Natalie, for when I start speaking. My venues will be bigger. My venues will be better. The companies that'll be calling on me. All because I'm working on it now. I'm not taking this time in isolation to sleep till, I can never sleep till past 5 a.m. anyway, but wake up, get out of bed. Don't sleep till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Get up, take a shower, work out, take a shower, do something productive, do something amazing. I mean, I look on Facebook and I see people, all they're posting is, what a great delivery we had from XYZ restaurant, and what of this and what of that, and blah blah blah. And if it's not that, it's people just friggin' complaining. How are, my man Craig, how do you not get tired of hearing the constant complaining from yourself? From hearing from other people is nuts. Look, I was that person. That's why I'm saying this to you. I know what it's like to complain and to blame other people and to blame the world. I did it when my passion was stripped from me, when my identity was stolen from me. I didn't blame me. I didn't take responsibility. But when I finally did, it put me on a different path, on that path to freedom and happiness. That's where I want you guys. So utilize this. It looks like, Jill, what's happening? A little late to the party. Take advantage of this. It looks like we now have 30 days, because now they're extending it to May 15th. You have 30 days to work on you without any interruptions. I know there's kids running around the house. I know there's other things going on. But guess what? You still have the time. What you do with your time is up to you. And the reason Steve Jobs said that is he knew that people were walking on this earth dead, inside. They were alive, but they were just existing. So when he gave that speech at Stanford, he wanted to make sure those kids knew. Live every day as if it were your last. Think about that. So all I ask of you, whether you do it or not, I can't hold you responsible. It's your responsibility. When you wake up tomorrow morning, walk up to that mirror and ask yourself, or when we get out of this pandemic especially, is what I am going to be doing today, is it going to make me happy? Is it going to give me fulfillment? Is it going to create something positive in my life? And yes, I am talking about your job. I am talking about your relationships. I'm talking about everything. Whatever you are doing simply out of like a robot, stop. You are not a robot. You have to understand that. That's why in school they teach math. They don't teach kids about money. They don't teach kids about mortgages. They don't teach kids about credit scores. They don't teach them about investing and having their money work for them. And you want to know why? Because our government wants them to be our little minions. They want to keep the middle class, the lower middle class, and the poor there so that the jobs that nobody wants to do, those people have to do. That's reality. And I'm not saying that to criticize anybody, but that is pure reality. It's a game. It's staged. It's time to wake up. Wake up. Look at you first before you start looking externally. I say that all the time. If you don't feel it inside of you, you're not going to feel it. If you don't have that honest conversation with yourself and ask yourself, am I living fulfilled? If the answer is no, why stay there? Why? I need the answer to that. I need the answer to that. It makes no sense to me. It's like it's like the people who go out and buy dumb shit that they can't afford with, money they don't have to impress people they don't even like. Why? To me, that's insanity. That is nuts. It's about freedom, people. It's not about having the biggest house. It's not about having the fanciest cars anymore. It means nothing. It means zero if you don't have your freedom. It means zero if you are not happy. All you're doing is putting yourself into an eternal. It's time to take that key, unlock it, free yourself, and start living your life. Hey, Amy, start living the life that you deserve. Look, I don't care what religion you practice. I don't care what you do. Your creator put you here for a reason, and he put you here with a gift. The problem is nobody's unwrapping their gift. 3% of this population have unwrapped their gift and are living their passion and their purpose and are making a difference in this world and are living fulfilled lives. Why do you want to be part of the majority? I don't want to be normal. I want to be the underdog, man. I want to be the person who comes from behind. It's crazy. It's crazy. If we just look at things realistically, if we just look at things realistically, it starts to make sense. But when we start looking at the world the way other people see it and the way other people are talking about it, if they're complaining, if they're making up excuses, if they're not willing to take that chance, they're not willing to take that risk, guess what? Neither are you. And if you think the future is bleak and you're sitting around complaining, you're going to have more to complain about. It's all up here. It's all up here. Your heart and your mind are the two most important organs you have in your body. This believes everything you tell it. Not only does it believe it, it feels it. And your body feels it. So if you see the future as horrible, you're going to have a horrible future. If you see the future as an opportunity and bright and awesome and fantastic with tons of opportunity, that's what you're going to have. Reality. Reality. This isn't a movie. This isn't coming from some novel. This is real life reality. Reality. Not what the government teaches us, not what schools teach us, not what our parents were taught and they taught us. It's time to get back to reality. It's time to unprogram ourselves. It's time to demanipulate ourselves and understand we've been lied to. You have the power. It's your life, nobody else's. You won the lottery. You were born. Look, you weren't asked to be brought into this world, so I totally get that. So why listen to people? If you asked to come here, if you asked to be born, then I could understand it. But that's not reality. The reality is you were just born. You didn't ask. You were given the gift of life. Take advantage of it. Elevate others. First elevate yourself, elevate others. Babam, I love you all. Stay safe. We'll be out of this soon. We're in this together. Any questions, DM me, send me a message. I don't care. I will answer you right back. And everybody have a fantastic night. Love you all. Peace.